Last night I woke up in the middle of the night and I was pretty tired, and I thought, oh my gosh, I hope I can get back to sleep. I looked at the clock and I figured, okay, if I get back to sleep, it'll be around 6 o'clock when the alarm goes off, and then possibly I can hit the snooze button and sleep a little bit more. And then when I was thinking that, a thought went through my mind, and the Lord said to me, you know what? People do that a lot with me. And I said, do what? And he said they hit the snooze button. They hit the snooze button when I'm trying to wake them up. I said, when you're trying to wake them up? He said, yes. I'll knock, I'll do things, I'll show them things, I even try to send people to them, but they hit the snooze button and then they go back to sleep. I said, oh, well, that's pretty interesting. And then he said, read Ephesians 5:14 when you get up. So when I got up, I did. And Ephesians 5:14 says, therefore he says, awake you who sleep, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. And he said also, read Romans 13:11, and that one says, and do this, knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now our salvation is nearer than when we first believed. So I said, okay, Lord, are you trying to tell me, or actually, what are you trying to tell me? And he said, you know, people are wondering what's happening in the world, and they're wondering why things are happening in the world, and why I'm letting things happen. And I'm actually trying to wake them up to let them know I'm here, I'm ready to talk to you, and I've always been here, ready to talk to you. But each time I knock, while I'm trying to wake you up, you hit the snooze button. So then he said, well, when they hit the snooze button, well, I said actually, well, when they hit the snooze button, what does that mean? He said, well, you know, you just know they go back to sleep, don't they? They don't want to wake up to the reality of what's going on and to know my word. Because my word tells everything. It gives all the answers to all the questions that they're asking, but they just don't want to wake up to look at it. So I said, well, you know, let's think about it. Well, what happens if people keep hitting the snooze button? He said, well, if you keep hitting the snooze button, doesn't it? You know what happens, don't you? I said, well, people fall asleep again, don't they? And then sometimes people will wake up and then they hit the snooze button again because they want to keep sleeping. And he said, well, what happens if you just constantly keep on hitting the snooze button? And I said, well, what happens a lot of times is you'll be sleeping and the snooze button will keep going off and off and off, and the alarm starts going off, and then it just blends in and you just stay sleeping. You know, you oversleep. He said that's what I'm trying to tell people. You know, if you keep hitting the snooze button, you're going to miss the alarm, and you're going to oversleep, and you're going to miss what's going on. I said, so what you're telling us then is when you're knocking, not to hit the snooze button, but to listen to the alarm or to get up and you'll talk to us. And he said, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell people. I said, okay, thanks.